What's up, YouTube? Grimsy42 back here, and I've got a few more pickups. I got a little bit of stuff that I got garage sailing. Garage sailing that I forgot to show in my last garage sale video. Something I picked up at kind of like a flea market type of thing. And I've also got some Craigslist pickups. So I'm going to get right into it. Actually remembered one more thing that I had to kind of pull over from the flea market that I went to. First thing I will get into though, there was some stuff that I had forgot to mention during a garage sale pickup that I did. I actually bundled these all together if the prices weren't cheap enough. The first thing I didn't really want, but I took it. It's a PlayStation 2 demo disc. It looks like an Underground Holiday. It's kind of a cool envelope. I'd never seen anything like that, but 50 cents. I wasn't going to complain. The next one is Medal of Honor Underground, and it's a Black Label game. Also 50 cents. The next one, unfortunately, is Greatest Hits, but at the price, again, I couldn't complain. It's loaded. Next one's another Greatest Hits, unfortunately, Medal of Honor. I think it's the original, actually. And then the last one was Tomb Raider Last Revelation. And these are all complete, and they're all in really good shape. So I was not going to complain. And I wound up bundling them. The lady didn't really want to come down because the price was already so cheap. It was $2.50 worth, and I offered her $2 just because I feel like digging around for change. And she took it. So I'll take 4 games and a demo for $2. That's common sense. You know, it was a great deal. And like I said, it was the one thing I didn't show when I went garage sailing. Okay, so the next thing I'll get into is a couple things I picked up while I was at this monthly flea market. Apparently there's it's kind of like a permanent flea market, but once a month, the first Sunday of the month, they have all the people come together that like want to do garage sailing, and they have outside vendors. So I kind of expected a lot of resellers to be there, or to, you know, go and kind of loot everything like they do, and I was definitely right. I could tell there was a lot of people there who had agendas. I seen people walking around with specific games they had purchased and stuff like that. I'd listen to people try to, you know, barter while I was there, and you could just tell when it's a reseller, just how they talk and stuff. But I did wind up picking up 2 games. The first one is a PS2 game, and it's Drakengard. It's a game made by Square Enix. I remember being mildly interested in this when it came out. For whatever reason, I never picked it up, but it's in very good condition, so I wound up grabbing it this time. And the other game is a game I thought I owned already, but it turns out I didn't. And I got a dust sleeve with it, which is always good. And it's a game I loved as a kid, so I'm very happy to have it again. And it's in pretty darn good condition, too. POW, Prisoners of War. And it's just a really fun beat 'em up. I have a huge nostalgic connection to this. And basically, I wound up getting both of those for $8. So, I mean, it's not like an, oh my god, you know, amazing deal. But, you know, POW is a game I wanted. And if you can find a game that you actually want for under $5, there's really no reason not to pick it up. You know, and it's, you know, it's worth about that. So, again, it was a good deal. I wasn't bothered by it. And the last thing I want to do before I get into Craigslist is some pickups I actually just did yesterday. I like to go to my local play and trade, you know, whenever I get time. The owner is a really great guy. He definitely loves video games, you know, and he's willing to help you out a lot. He's not like the typical reseller, you know. His prices are almost always fair. You know, there's a few games where his prices are a bit high, but you know, he's usually willing to work with you, and there's always promotions like discount card and, you know, sales. Like right now they're doing buy one, get one half off. They've been doing it for a couple weeks now. And they actually were doing buy 2, get 1 free before that. So they've just been, you know, consistently almost always having a sale. So I did wind up picking up a pile of games. So first one wasn't part of the buy 1, get 1 half off. It's actually something I grabbed after I already been wrung out. I just noticed it out of the corner of my eye. It's a long box game, PGA Tour 96. And it's nothing amazing, obviously. It's a crappy golf game. But I'll take any long box game I can find at this price. It's like in really good shape. I mean, the case has a little bit of fading and scratching on it, but there's no cracks to be spoken of anywhere. So I mean, a solid long box game for, I paid I think $1 for this. It was under $1, so I had no issue with that. Next is it's an N64 game that I've been kind of looking for. I remember playing it when it was new, and I kind of find it to be a combination of Metal Gear Solid and Gears of War. Metal Gear for the look of it, and Gears of War just kind of for the cover system. And that's Winback. And I bundled that with a Disney Capcom game because they were similar priced. And that's The Little Mermaid. The reason I grabbed this, aside from the fact that I'm told all the Capcom Disney games are really good, is that I just recently purchased a box of, a lot of boxes, and this was one of them. So that'll have this a box game for me. So I knew it was something I'd be picking up in the future, so I grabbed the box, and then I found the game with a really good label, so I grabbed that. Okay, and these next two I also paired together. This first one I bought just because it's compatible with the Power Glove, and I really do want to try that out when I get one. So it's a game I didn't have, which is always an incentive. So it's Super Glove Ball, and again, the label is really good. And then the game I paired with that one, I could kind of tell just by looking at it, this was a late era NES game, so it was probably 92, 93. Somewhere around there. I haven't done research to specifically nail it down, but it's a game I haven't actually seen before in the wild, so I was happy to pick it up at a good price. It's The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends, and again, the label's really good. I try to only buy games with really solid labels unless it's like something stupid rare or a stupid good deal. But yeah, so I picked all those up, and I think the total for everything was just under $20, so I mean, it really wasn't a bad deal. And now that gets to Craigslist. I have been on an incredible tear with Craigslist lately. Normally it's pretty dry. Resellers are all over it. I mean, 90% of the posts you see are buying Nintendo games, buying Super Nintendo games, buying N64 games, whatever, paying cash, blah, blah, blah. And it's very frustrating because it's like you gotta spam through all that nonsense to find one possible thing, and either the seller wants way too much, or they have crap, or resellers have already pounced on them. I mean, and I've seen a lot of really good games go through Craigslist. Recently comes to mind Turtles Tournament Fighter for NES. They wanted, I think, $20 for it, and it's like an $80 game. And I missed it, and I responded like 5 minutes after they put it up, and it took them like 4 days to get back to me, and they're like, oh, sorry, I sold it. So, it can be frustrating, but I do want to let you know that some good stuff can happen. I'm actually going to show you the stuff from crappiest to greatest, so in this portion of it, unfortunately, you're not going to get to see anything too amazing, but I will have a part 2 and potentially a part 3, depending on how long this part takes. Excuse me, and the subsequent part, just so it flows good. I don't want to make a 20-minute video or whatever, but anyways, let me jump right into it. The first one was pickup of some Super Nintendo games, and I'm just going to go through them really quick, nothing really amazing. First one is Jurassic Park. The next one is Art of Fighting. Next one is Super Caesar's Palace. Paperboy 2. Fatal Fury. Fatal Fury 2. Super Godzilla. This one is Natsume Championship Wrestling, and Natsume makes some good games. They made Shadow of the Ninja on NES, which I really like. They've definitely got some good titles, so hopefully that's a good game. Next is Jim Power, The Lost Dimension in 3D. I've never even heard of it, and it's in kind of rough shape, but I'm sure I can clean it up pretty well, so hopefully it's a good game. Next is a role-playing game of sorts, I think. It's called Lagoon. made by the same people that make that crap pile game Dragon. And then lastly, I don't know if you call this the crown achievement or the crown crap of the lot, it's Shaq Fu. So, believe it or not, I think this is the first copy of Shaq Fu I've gotten, so I really can't complain too much. Apparently, according to this, he's the enforcer of justice. So, anyways, it was 11 Super Nintendo games, and how I found out about that, and this is something I recommend you all try. There was a guy who just put up, I believe it was Fatal Fury 1 and 2, and he just wanted $5. So, seeing as how he wasn't asking too much, I mean, $2.50 a piece is a relatively good price even on crap games like that. I messaged him and asked if he still had it, and he, said he did. And I said, well, are those the only games you have for sale? I mean, because it's highly suspect that a person would just be selling 2 random fighting games for Super Nintendo. They must have had something else. So he did, and he said, yeah, I was just about to put it up, but if you want, I'll just tell you what I have, and he listed it. And I actually wound up picking all of that up for $25. So, I mean, 11 games for $25, that's like $2 a game, and even though they're not in amazing condition, you really can't go wrong at a price like that, so I was okay with that. And the last pickup I'm going to show for today was a Gamecube Lot, and what actually got my interest is he said he had 3 games. And the game that really caught my eye in the list was Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes. Now, I already have this game, but that is definitely one of the better, games for the system, and it's got a decent value, so I knew if I could get my hands on it for cheap that I would have some good trade bait. And the guy didn't really want to part with it by itself. He wanted to unload the whole thing. So after a lot of negotiating, we actually settled on $35 for the whole lot that he was trying to sell, so I'll go ahead and show you now what came with it. A white generic GameCube controller, which is kind of cool looking. I mean, it looks just like a GameCube controller, it just doesn't have the GameCube logo there. Unfortunately, the analog is kind of shot, but still, it's kind of neat. I thought it was cool. It's in rough shape, but whatever. Next, we have Platinum Wavebird, and if you've seen my garage sale video already, you know that I just picked up one of those there too. So I was definitely happy to get this one because this one does have the battery cover, and it also came with the sensors, so I was totally okay with that. And then the last thing I got was the black GameCube with a, I guess like a generic memory card. And the cool thing about this is it's also a G1 system, and it's got that little port for the component, so it's definitely okay picking that up. And then the games, unfortunately, were in generic cases. The first one is a disc only of Pikmin, which I'm told is a fun game. It doesn't look like something I would play, but it's nice to have. I'll probably, trade it away to try to upgrade to the complete copy. And the next one is something I run into often, but without a manual, and this trend continues. It's Metroid Prime. And then lastly was the Metal Gear. And both the discs are in there, and they're in really good shape, and it has the original cover art. Unfortunately, it's not in a GameCube case, it's in a Blockbuster case. But I believe I can actually get a double disc case on the cheap, so I'm not concerned. I'll just swap the case out and pick up a manual, and I'll be good to go. I mean, for $35 for all that, I'd say this pretty much is the $35 alone, and mainly I was after the Wavebird. So anyways, that is just the start to Craigslist, and if any of that even looked halfway decent to you, you are going to love the rest of the stuff I get. I'm going to put it out ASAP, so keep an eye out for it, and thanks for watching. Take care.